Welcome back to my channel Conquerthefear. In this video, we are going to discuss about the API Microservice Engineer, what exactly he does, and what is the roles and responsibility, and how he can prepare for this particular role. So if you see, I am actually reading out, or I'm actually presenting my screen where I am actually talking about a Synechron company. This is one of the IT company where there is a requirement for an engineer who has done the development in API and microservices. And basically, this is with respect to Sydney, that is Australia job. So let's discuss about what is the roles and responsibility in this particular role. So if you take a look at this here, if you see here, we are talking about the roles and responsibility of this. So the very first thing is that he need to be aware of design and the develop of microservices application with the help of Java. So Java being the mainstream. And secondly, if you need to be aware of all the microservices, like you must have been previously done that, you should be able to implement the RESTful API, and you should also have the knowledge of how to integrate with the other services. Ensure high performance and scalability. So this is one of the important skill, and every developer should be knowing this, not just writing a code which is going to work, but has to scale up and scale down, and it has to perform in the required time. Then we are talking about collaborating with the cross-functional team. So there are different teams working in an organization in a client project. So you need to communicate, you need to gather the information, and also you need to create the solution and implement it. You also need to troubleshoot and debug the updated existing systems, so that you there are systems which are running in the legacy systems. You need to troubleshoot what exactly is the common issues. You need to debug them, and then ultimately you need to find that what can be upgraded inside it. Then you need to participate in the code review. If you are a junior developer, your code review will be done by the lead, and if you itself are a senior developer, you can do it yourself and also hand it over to the client. Then you can write the unit test cases that is used for integrating the test with the end-to-end application, so it maintains the software quality. Then you need to document the whole process from the requirement gathering to the development and the deliverables, so that you can mention all the details. So I will focus on giving the details which I have been experienced. I have gathered the information from the other fellow developers and the engineers and leads. So make sure you watch this particular video till the end. Also, you need to aware of all this particular one by one point which I'm trying to mention. Just make a note. So welcome. If you are looking to transform from a traditional monolith developer to a microservice architect, or basically if you are wanted to go to a lead engineer, then you are in the right place. So here let's break down the common pillars or the core pillars of this particular role, and what are the career roadmap of this. So if you take a look at this, the very first thing what we are going to discuss about is the core engine, that is Java and Spring Boot. This being the very important part of the mainstream application developers, API engineers, and the microservice engineer. So this is one thing which every developer should have this particular knowledge of. So in the enterprise world, Java is going to remain the king for microservices because of its robustness. And also, if you see any expert, whenever you say about the expert, then it is not just knowing the syntax, it is more than that. The first thing is that you need to know the framework. So if you take a look at this, you must not be knowing it, you must live inside it, you must breathe it. So Spring Boot, you should be very much familiar, and you should be knowing in and out of that. You should be very comfortable with the Spring Cloud, which is going to handle the plumbing of distributed system. There are config servers, there are distributed service discovery, and also the service circuit breaker pattern. Then we are talking about the reactive programming. So you need to ensure you are having the high performance, and as mentioned, you need to have that in the description of the job description what we discussed. So you need to have the project reactor details, you need to understand them, you need to have the web flux. So moving from the blocking IO to the non IO is how you can handle the massive scale, that too with fewer resources. Then we are talking about Java versions. Specifically, if you go to the history, Java has gone to many revisions, you need to just don't stay in that particular Java 8 versions, right? You need to be aware of the modern microservices, what are the benefits, how it can perform and boost your application. You need to be aware of this syntax, like what is there in the Java 17, 21, now up to date 25, which is the current latest version of it. So you need to be aware of all these particular versions. Then we'll discuss about what you need to know about the architecture design. So you need to be having, whenever you're dealing with design and the develop part, so you aren't just about creating the folder and then sort it out, right? You are going to choose some strategy. You must be able to explain what exactly are those with the help of the whiteboard sessions or the helping details with them, sharing them. Let's discuss about it. The very first thing is about Saga design pattern. Now this is very, very significant, having importance of this. So how do you manage the transactions that is going to span across different services? Microservices, you will have n number of microservices spread across different locations, different regions. Okay, so different applications are going to interact. So you just don't use 2PC. So you must be knowing 2PC, that is two-phase commit. So whenever you're dealing with the distributed applications, you have to use of this particular Saga design pattern, and it is implemented in two ways, that is choreography and orchestration, that is going to maintain your data across, and it is going to keep it consistency. Then comes the CQRS. So we are talking about command query responsibility and segregation. So you need to separate the reads from the writes so that you can optimize your application, you can improve the performance. Then we're dealing with the API gateway. So you are acting as a single entry point which is going to handle your cross-cutting concerns. There is security, which are going to make use of the JWT, OAuth, and you need to implement the rate limiting and the routing also. So make sure you are aware of this and you are very familiar with all the details how to implement those. Then data management. So this has to be a true microservice engineer who need to know all these particular details. So he just doesn't need to know about one single database at all, right? It cannot be a fit to all this particular requirement. Okay. So here what I'm trying to mention is there are different SQL servers, right? Which is Postgre, MySQL, Oracle. So just choose the best of the relational databases which supports the ACID properties, the compliance, and the complex joins. Then you can choose with the modern NoSQL, which is going to support the no structured databases, which can be MongoDB, Cassandra. There are different databases available. So it is a very essential for having the high write volumes, and also if you want to scale your application horizontally. Then the event driven data, whenever you're trying to integrate either with Kafka or either with RabbitMQ, that is going to be the non-negotiable thing. This has to be the event driven way. So you need to understand how you can decouple your services from your services so that a service A is not going to crash and it is not going to bring down the other services like service B. Okay. So you need to implement in a very strategic manner, and also it should scale up. Then we are going to discuss about the DevOps and the clouds. So the containerization in major IT giants, right? Or if you see, there are developers, there are operational operators, there are you are going to merge it. So these are all responsible for the part of the life cycle of your code. So containerization is quite important. So whenever you are developing a code, this is quite important. So you aren't just going to be familiar with them. You should know how to write the Docker file. This is how you secure the small and the other instances, and then how you need to understand what is K, that is Kubernetes, like how the concept of pod works, deployment, and there are Helm charts which is there up as part of the Kubernetes. You need to be aware of this particular thing. Then comes the CI/CD pipeline. So there is an automation which is only happening the way you have to maintain the quality, right? So you should be able to design a pipeline. You can use Jenkins, you can use GitLab, you can use GitHub Actions. Those run the test cases, check the vulnerabilities, like using the Sonar Cube, and then ultimately everything passes. Then it is going to deploy in the desired environment. It can be development, it can be ICE test, it can be acceptance, and any other environment. Then you're talking about the cloud. So you need to be aware of different cloud. So you need to understand how this particular managed services work, why you need to use your own Kafka instances, when you can use AWS, okay, and why you can manage the DB with the help of let's say RDS is there is DynamoDB is there. There are different way to access the database using the cloud. So that's how you need to be aware of. Then at the very differentiation, I would say be very observative. So what this means is that you need to separate yourself from the junior developer. So this is going to senior developers are well aware of all these particular details. When a system is distributed, it is going to work on my machine, means that is not going to be something like that. It is going to work on my own system, right? It is going to work on the different distributed system. So this observability, it will be an added advantage, and it will give you an added edge if you are aware about this. So there are logging and tracing you must be implemented in a very accurate way when you are dealing with the distributed system. We can make use of the Jaeger, Zipkin. These are the tools you can use. And if any chance your request fails, you need to see exactly where the service went wrong, which service is in the chain caused that particular 500 error, 400 error, or any other server related error, basically, I would say, which is 500 or 5 any other code. Then we have the matrices. So we can make use of the Prometheus. Then we have Grafana, which is going to monitor your memory. There are thread counts, and also it is going to monitor your latency, which is going to be the very real time. Then, then we have, let me give you my expert or my advice, which I would tell you. So here, what you do, if you are preparing for this particular role, let's say, okay, then don't just code and just be that particular developer who just know to how write the code. You need to understand the whole aspect of it. When the project is expecting, it is going to expect some trade-off, right? So you need to have the functional knowledge, you need to have the technical knowledge, you need to have the latest upgraded technology knowledge. So you can choose the latest technologies, and let's say you're dealing with some AI related thing. You need to be certified, you need to be aware of this particular things, what exactly how it works. So you can make use of the NoSQL, which is the modern way. You can make use of Kafka, which is instead of REST. Okay, you need to have the testing, which has to be in the first class, right? So writing the unit test cases, integrating with the other systems, that is not your, I would say, I mean, the developer is not left with any choice, right? That is mandatory, and every organization expect that. Without that, your code will not go into the production, right? Or any of the environment. If you are mastering this particular JUnit 5, Mockito, test container, there are Selenium, there are different other things actually you need to know with respect to the testing aspect. Then learn the soft skills. So you will collaborate with cross-functional team. You will learn things. You will understand things. What is the requirement? So learn to translate that particular technical information to the business ask or the business things, right? So your manager is going to understand what you need to refactor, what other things has to be done. So my suggestion would be, don't just be the technical guy, be the person who is techno functional, who understand everything, who just not understand the development aspect, the functional aspect, the deployment, the CI/CD process, and all the architectural design. So basically, you need, in today's world, these are something as not just an expectation; these are mandatory things by the client, and they choose the person who has this particular knowledge. So go ahead and dominate your interview, and you have the blueprint which I provided, what all things you need to be. So go and just build the system. Thank you for watching. If this video has given you some value, then hit the like button. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.